Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Yap Lab. We are back with a really fun special today. I have been dreaming up this special because we are both very big fans of the show. We wanted to add it to our Hollywood Rage Bait series. And what are we doing today?
Talking Stranger Things, baby.
Yeah, we're talking all things Stranger Things. We have had a few weeks to digest the show. We are very, very big fans of the show. I mean, we're going to dive into all the things Stranger Things. The finale just came out December 31st, 2025.
Yep.
So if you didn't watch it and you don't watch the show, this is a ton of spoilers. So please do not watch this. But anyways, any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns before we get started?
No, I think there's a lot to talk about here, though, for sure. I think there's a lot of mixed opinions. We've talked to a lot of our friends, family, read a lot of stuff online. I think there's a ton of mixed reviews, which I was honestly kind of surprised by, but we'll get into it.
There was a lot of negative reviews about this finale, which
as there should be.
I would 1,000,000% agree with. So
if you don't think that it was slightly underwhelming, then you're not going to like this episode probably, but that's fine. Tell us what you think. That's what we're here for.
This one is for all of our Sherwood boys. Shout out, because they were hating on Riley for saying that it was a horrible episode.
I'll text them all and tell them to listen to this one.
This one is for anyone who thought that the Stranger Things finale was fantastic. So why I want to talk about Stranger Things, just to start off, Stranger Things is just like not a random show that we want to bring onto the pod. Like, Stranger Things is a fantastic show. It ran for 10 years. Like, it ran from 2016, I think, 2016 trend, if you know what I mean. Stranger Things came out. It was a huge deal. It has 57 Emmy nominations, 12 Emmy wins. Like, this is not just any show. This is the show. This is like Game of Thrones level.
Yeah, I think from a popularity standpoint, it was definitely up there. I think that it came out at I think it hits the two of us so much just because it came out at kind of like a crucial point in time, like in our lives, right? You know, like late high school or early college. You know, it just kind of came out. It's obviously about kids and childhood and growing up and stuff. We didn't obviously grow up in that same time frame, but you know, our parents did, right? So I think that it hits their generation a bit. Is like very nostalgic for like our parents' age. So I think for us and for them, I think it just kind of hit a lot of different areas of age. I think and it hit at a good time. So everybody kind of caught on quick. Everybody loved, especially season one. Season one was great. And it kind of just went on from there. So
yeah, and I do want to highlight, I want to highlight the fact that this was such a special show, because I think it was said in the documentary too, is that they never really have shows with young kids and adults together, which is not like for kids, you know. It's usually a show, if any sort of like broad range of age groups is working together, it's usually for a kids show. This is not really a kids show. This is an adult show. Like you said, it hits so many different age ranges, and
it was a little middle of the road. I think it could have been. It's kind of hard to. It's kind of like hard to describe, right? Because it's a kids show with a little too much scariness for like the young kids.
Exactly. Yeah.
So because they had that sort of horror thriller aspect, you know, you don't want like your 6-year-old watching. It's
exactly.
Probably a little too scary for that.
Right.
So
let's just dive into it.
Let's do it. Mita's the master with all the hot takes today, so she's going to be driving this conversation. I'll be spicing it up with some on the fly things. We'll see.
No, and I want to really talk about this because like I'm not just a fan of the show, I'm in the fandom. Like, I am in Reddit threads, I'm deep in the sub threads, like I'm deep on TikTok threads, like all the things. Like, I was up on December 31st watching the movie. The only reason we didn't go to the theater is because we went on a little trip for the New Year's Eve, but I was low-key down to cancel our trip and go to the theater. Like, that's how crazy.
We still watched it in the hotel room on our trip.
Yeah. And part one came out on like Thanksgiving. I was antisocial during Thanksgiving watching Stranger Things. Same thing with Christmas. Like, this has consumed me for the past 10 years. And
I don't think that it's consumed you for like all those years. I think that you really got into it when you rewatched everything 6 months ago. I'll talk about that a little bit. I think that if you didn't go and like rewatch a lot of the seasons prior to this finale, I think that you liked it more than you should have.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree. I think that's probably why they got away with the ending that they did, because a lot of people didn't go back 4 seasons and restart from the beginning. But guess who did? We did. So we have all the hot takes around it. Let's talk about season 5 as a whole, episode by episode, character by character. Like, I think that they did a really good first half of the season with like volume 1, right? The Turnbow Trap was like, I told you, I was like, that was one of the best episodes they've ever had, where they trapped the Demogorgon in the Turnbow family's like basement and did all that stuff, right? That was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like overall, like volume 1, which was 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was super good.
I was happy with the first 4 episodes for sure. I felt like there was a lot of buildup, obviously, but I got a lot of the action that I was looking for. And on top of that, the finale of that volume 1 with Will, you know, like that's huge.
That
like,
was crazy. Yeah.
That's the kind of like jaw dropping stuff and sort of just craziness that I was looking for in season 5.
Yeah.
They've hyped up season 5 for years.
Yeah.
So I had high expectations, extremely high expectations. So I think that there was a lot of things that happened in that first volume. Obviously, with even just thinking like episode 1, the introduction or the reintroduction of all the kids again, you see how much like older everybody is. Like there's a lot about all that I just thought was really cool. I really liked all that.
And like, to be honest, like they did a really good job for how much of a time gap was spent in between filming seasons. Like, how many years was that? Like 3 or 4 years?
The kids looked like a lot older, but it made it work. I felt like they made it work. Yeah.
It was fine. They made it work.
Yeah.
There was a lot of unanswered questions, like things like that.
Lucas looks really old to me.
Lucas looks super old, but whatever.
Yeah.
What are you going to do as actors? You know, they have to have the same actors come back. So
they said the same thing about like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like,
so like, what are you going to do? I think that it was great. I totally agree with all the characters and things like that. Volume 1 was really good. I think we should talk about volume 2. Thoughts on volume 2?
Yeah. Volume 2 sucked.
Yeah, volume 2 kind of,
I hated it.
It was a huge setup.
Let down. Yeah, because it was setting up so much
pressure for the finale.
There was so much pressure for the finale. That's a really good way to put it. I just think that there was so much build up to this like 2-hour long fight that we felt was gonna come.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much built up anger and questions among all the characters. I kind of wish that they would have maybe made volume 2 also 4 episodes.
Yep.
But
I think it was only like 3 episodes,
it was 3. And I'm not saying that they should have drug it out longer, but make that build up and a little bit more jaw dropping.
Right.
Like volume 1, you know? So especially if you're going to make us wait a month, we had to wait a month as Thanksgiving to Christmas. I felt like some important character development happened, I guess, in volume 2, but at the end of the day, it was just really, really, really anticlimactic,
right.
You know? So they built it up so much. You still got to have some exciting things happen in volume 2, right? The only like one main cool thing or exciting thing that stuck out, I guess, like the Max story and like her being in a coma, and then the whole hospital scene, that was pretty cool. But I think that was like it.
That was pretty much it. I think it was mainly Max. I will say that's like the best story plot around volume 2. I think that there was
because Holly
some action, but not really.
Holly and Miss Wheeler got attacked in their house. That was volume 1.
Volume 1, yeah.
So they were already in the hospital by volume 2.
Yeah.
So, but Henry had gotten all the kids at the end of volume 1. So for 3 episodes, they're like kind of fighting amongst each other. That was the finale.
And then at the end of the volume 2, he gets the kids back. And then he has them sitting at the table, and then he lifts them up.
It took until the finale for them to like finally believe Holly.
Right.
They were there playing, like ready to go at the house. I'm trying to think of what else even really happened that was so significant in volume 2. Like there wasn't really that much.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of setup. I felt like when I watched Volume 2, it was total setup for the finale. Like, there was so many expectation, so many loopholes. You learn about Dimension X in Volume 2. You learn about the...
Which that's like... That was
such a
so...
huge thing.
That was such a huge revelation that they just kind of blew through.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, and by the way, we've been wrong for 10 years about the upside down. And here's this like big physics experiment on how you should understand what's actually going on.
No, literally.
And then he like drew it up on the whiteboard and was like, this is actually what it is. And I'm like, that's such a big revelation for like what this world is that we're all wondering about the whole time and how it came about and what it truly is. And then they blew through the actual realization in like minutes.
No, exactly.
You know, so
it's such a big part of Dungeons and Dragons too. Like not Dimension X, but where the monsters are living, the order of the monsters, who Vecna is, and that's a whole Reddit subthread. Like, the casual viewer wouldn't know this, but
just like about how it like correlates to Dungeons and Dragons.
So it correlates to
D&D.
D&D is like obviously the Mind Flayer is top dog, but actually in D&D there's a higher level which is the three-headed dragon, and there's so many hidden pieces in the show, right? The Duffer Brothers tells everyone to kind of clue in and listen into certain episodes from certain seasons to pick up on things for moving into the finale. So what do everyone in the fandom do? They watch those certain episodes. There's an episode where I think Will gives Mike a poster. It's when they're in California, when Mike comes to visit him in season 4. Comes to visit Elle, and he gives him a poster for his birthday, and it basically is the three-headed dragon. It's three, and then it's Will, Dustin, Mike, and Lucas, and they're all fighting this three-headed dragon, and everyone is saying, like, this is foreshadowing, like, the finale. That would have been a fantastic opportunity to bring that final guy in, which is the three-headed dragon, right? We all thought it was Vecna, but no, it's this guy. It's a huge guy. So the whole time I'm telling you this whole thing.
Which was the Mind Flayer.
At the end of the day, yes, sure, it's Mind Flayer, whatever. But I don't know. That was just a whole nother hot take on I think the Mind Flayer is below even the three-headed dragon in D&D. The Mind Flayer is there.
Is it the name of that in D&D?
I think it's like a similar... Like, I don't know if it's called the Mind Flayer, but it's a similar, like, vibe.
Tier level?
Yeah, tier level.
Sure.
Whatever.
I don't know enough about that, but...
Anyways, long story short, they could have brought the three-headed dragon in. It looked like they were going to from the trailers, but it's not. It was the rocks floating down from Dimension X.
Yeah.
Anyways, I thought the Dimension X story was not covered. Like, it was not covered at all. They kind of talked about it in that speech that they continuously did throughout the season where they're just like talking about their plan. It's like I feel like they didn't do that in the past seasons where they're just spending 30 minutes of the episode talking about their plan.
There was a lot of planning and they always just that did get kind of repetitive for sure.
They didn't do that in other seasons, did they?
Well, they definitely talked about plans, but it was always like uncovering, boom, boom, boom. Towards the end, it starts to build up and they're making their plan.
Yeah.
And then I felt like they would execute in the last episode or two.
That's true.
This was like a new plan because some new crazy thing happened over here and over here. I mean, that's one thing that I felt like Stranger Things did really well was that they always had so many different kind of storylines going on.
Yeah.
They had a lot of thrill being built up in a lot of different areas.
No, definitely. I agree. Volume 2, Loki sucked. So Volume 3.
It just wasn't what I wanted it to be in a lead up to what then need. Because then it made the finale feel like it needed to like make up for that. You know? So like don't make it so that way you rely everything on the finale.
Last episode. I think that's why the season flopped Loki so much is because they had put so much pressure on Volume 2 going into Volume 3.
I felt like Volume 1 did a great job leading into 2. And 2 just didn't have enough sort of jaw-dropping moments to like cover up what the finale could have been. Unless you wanted to make the finale like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And even then, I love the show so much, I almost wouldn't have wanted it to end.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So Volume 3 then, what do you think?
Finale was just, it was good. I didn't think it was great. Like, I'll just say that. I'm not going to say that it was like awful or it sucked, but it just wasn't good. It's not what I wanted. It was not what I expecting. There was not enough action at the end.
Yep.
They literally took everybody down at the end way too easily. There was no Demogorgons or any other creatures in what do we call the
Dimension X.
Yeah, there was in Dimension X. There was nothing else that they had to fight off.
Nothing,
know,
yeah.
I thought an army of demidogs.
Well, they
was
had
gonna
the
come.
bats. We had the bats in season 4 where Eddie
Yep.
dies. We had a full fleet of bats. We had a full fleet of Demogorgons. Like,
Yep.
What's going on in Dimension X where Vecna's sitting and he's just sitting there unguarded? Like, does he think no one's going to come in there?
I know he should have had an army of demidogs waiting for him.
Right.
Demo dogs, whatever you want to call them. But I just would have had an army. Yeah, I mean, they should have had an army. And then while Elle is off doing what she needs to do because she has to do that.
Yeah.
Nobody else is going to fight him, right?
Yeah.
Like, all the other kids need to be like defending the area and just absolutely annihilating all these other creatures in an attempt to try and give Elle the time she needs. One thing that I thought was really great was like Joyce got to finish him off. And that was a really powerful scene where it like really showed how like everybody was affected this whole way. Like Will, her child was taken from her from day one, and it caused her and her son so much pain throughout the whole show. Like, that was one of my favorite parts of the finale. If I had to pick out some good things that I did like, the fact that she got to be the one to finish him off and really how like powerful that was great. It just happened too fast. I even felt like the first hour of the finale was still a buildup, you know?
I agree.
It was 2 hours, right?
1 hour and 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah. And so like I really felt like they made it up to their Dimension X and there was like 30 or 40 minutes left.
Yeah, and they actually, I think they were saying the last 40 minutes of volume 3 is just the epilogue. So whatever happens after. So only an hour was really fighting him, defeating him, moving on.
And building up to that, you know? And then there's 30 or 40 minutes of epilogue, which I didn't
think the
hate.
fight scene was only like 5 minutes or something.
His coming out scene was longer. It was powerful that he got to tell his friends.
Yeah.
And he finally got it out there. But I just didn't think that it really... Like
it was almost misplaced.
It was almost misplaced. It could have been done in like season 4 or something.
Yeah.
When he was really like in turmoil because of that with like with his friend Will or Mike, I mean.
Yeah.
So it could have easily come out in 4 or just earlier in season 5 as like just, something that they felt like needed to be done. They ended volume 2 with that, and it just really... It took a long time for him to get it out, and at the end of the day, they killed Vecna like faster,
Yeah.
So,
and I think that I think the coming out scene was fantastic and well written, and there were plot holes within that though. Like if you truly knew, I want to highlight some plot holes just within his coming out scene in volume 2.
Yeah,
we'll dig into those later. Anyways, my opinion of the volume 3. I think it was lazy writing. I think that they had so much time and opportunity to do like a seriously incredible ending. They had so many routes to go with Stranger Things ending, and like it's such a monumental show. Like the fight scene is like 5 minutes where they kill Vecna and the Mind Flayer. Meanwhile, in season 2 or 3 or whatever, when they're killing the Mind Flayer in the mall, like it takes so much to kill the Mind Flayer in the mall, and he still doesn't die. He just escapes to another dimension.
and he at least gets one on the way out.
Yeah,
because he killed Max's brother.
Oh yeah, Billy. Right.
He
Yeah,
killed Billy, which was so powerful, right?
Yeah, that was
And
powerful.
it's like slow motion, and like they're throwing all the fireworks at the Mind Flayer in the mall, like trying to distract him. Like they are gung ho, and it's a deep scene.
Yep.
And that wasn't even the end of that episode.
No.
Oh, it might have been the last episode.
It was the last episode of season 3, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't even like the last thing you saw, and it was so powerful and got everyone like on the edge of their seat when that happened.
Right.
And like I don't, not to like interrupt you or anything, but that was probably one of my biggest things is I'm like, they should have killed somebody.
They didn't kill anyone, which...
They didn't kill anybody.
There were so many suspects they could have killed, right? In season 1, they killed... Who did they kill in season 1? Fucking Barb. Okay,
Yeah.
in season 1, they killed Barb, right?
Which wasn't like as meaningful because you didn't know her that well. But they did follow her a bit throughout that season too. Like,
Yeah.
It came out later in an episode, like what, episode 2 or 3 of that season, where she's like trying to climb out of the pool.
Yeah.
And gets dragged back in. That's how you know she's like gone for sure.
Season 2, they killed Bob.
Yes, huge. Rudy,
Yeah.
R.I.P. No,
Rudy?
he plays Rudy. He plays Rudy in the old movie Rudy.
Oh, okay.
It's a Notre Dame football movie.
Didn't know that.
He's
season
literally
3?
he's in Lord of the Rings. He's literally in Lord.
is.
He's
Yeah.
Samwise.
Yeah, that's
Samwise Gamgee.
I totally forgot he is. Okay, season
R.I.P.
3. Season 3, who died?
Billy.
Billy.
Yep.
Season 4, who died? Eddie. So
Eddie.
like these are pretty big kills, right? They're side characters, but they're not really side characters. They're pretty important to the story, but like you're not too emotionally attached to them, but it's a very big significant
But
impact to the story.
And on top of that, each one of those people was super closely related to one of the main characters.
Main characters, yeah.
And it got the main character to feel something
Traumatic.
And because of that, and we are in love with the main characters, we in turn, the audience is going to feel something as well. Like when Bob dies, he wasn't around that long, but like the audience is still
They feel bad for Joyce.
heartbroken, and you feel bad for Joyce.
No, agreed.
Yep.
I think that this season, who do you think they could have killed? They could have killed Murray off.
But that wouldn't have meant as much, right?
Robin, like truly,
See,
she's not really
here's
a main character.
Here's something that would have made everybody feel something, and I'm not saying I wanted them to die at all, but it just probably should have been done to make the show so crazy. Steve, he died.
I just don't know if people would have like lived with a Steve death.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Here's a reason why I would give that is because Vecna, up to that point, he was one of the only main characters that had actually not directly been affected
By Vecna. Yeah.
Unless he died.
Yeah.
Then he's obviously directly affected.
I think a good one would have been Jonathan too.
100%.
I think Jonathan or Nancy would have been a good kill for Vecna.
100%. I don't know if Nancy would have been the best choice, but they even teased Steve dying.
Yeah.
They teased it immediately.
Yeah.
And guess what? Everyone is like, no.
Yeah.
And it would have been so powerful. And then, oh, he's good. Jonathan's got him, which was...
That's powerful. Yeah.
It was. And that was still fine. I'm not saying that I wanted Steve to die either, but think about how sad everyone is when Eddie's dead, you know? Like Nancy's...
But we weren't really sad. It was just we were sad for Dustin and how traumatic that was for Dustin.
100%. And then you can think of it the same way. Like Nancy is now living with the death of Barb the whole show.
Yeah.
The reason that sometimes things are good and powerful is because somebody dies or major changes happen and you feel something. The emotion that the audience feels is what makes things really good sometimes.
Yeah.
Think about some of the saddest, best movies you've ever seen in your lifetime. Okay, I'm going to throw out Titanic.
But it's like you're not that connected with the characters. You're just connected with their love story.
Oh, I don't even care about that. I'm just saying the main guy dies.
Well, yeah, and you're sad because he dies.
It was powerful.
Yeah.
Like it made you feel something, and that's... I'm not saying that him dying is what made Titanic great, but look at some of the best movies ever. Something traumatic happens almost every time. Something crazy happens that gets the audience to feel something, and it makes you walk out of the theater going, holy shit, that was good. That was crazy. My heart's still racing from that, blah, blah, blah. In the meantime, I'm sitting here watching them just like wreck the Mind Flayer with like unlimited bullets.
Unlimited bullets. We'll get into the plot holes.
We will, but like unlimited bullets, and like she hides in that, like, you know, Nancy runs in the crevice. How the fuck did they get up on the thing in 3 seconds?
That was the plot hole I was going to talk about.
How did they get up on that cliff in like 0.02 seconds?
Did they bring rock climbing stuff? Like, I'm confused.
Would have literally came after them in no time at all. I mean, I think at the time it was like busy, but dude, like there's some things that just
didn't make sense, didn't add up. So clear. While I was watching it, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And I'm not saying that like the show makes sense in general. I don't need it all to be perfect. It's a sci-fi type show.
But like
that was
season
really
1 through
unrealistic.
4, they have like general rules to Stranger Things, and I feel like they just didn't follow it for this last season, or volume 3 at least.
I completely agree. So, I mean, overall, at the end of the day, like, what would you rate? What would you rate the season? And then at the end, we're gonna rate the show.
I say season 2 was my least favorite season. I think that's like universally, I think that's everyone's least favorite season. Season 4 is my favorite season. Season 3 is like, up there with not season 1. Season 1 and 3 are tied. Season 5 comes after that. So it's second to last. Yeah.
Second to last?
Yeah, well, season 2 is really not good.
I mean, I didn't think season 2 was that bad. I will say some of the side quest stuff with Elle.
With the sister and
which
the...
let's get into that too, because that was obviously a part of season 5. I would personally say that season 2 and 5 are probably last. 5 being, I'll even push 5 last.
You think season 5 is last?
Yes.
Yeah.
2 being second to last. I think 1 and 4 are tied at first, and then 3 is 2.
Yeah, 1 and 4 are good. 4's really, really good. I mean, I
loved 4.
I loved how they set up 4 at the end. Like the very last episode of 4 was just so fucking good. Like how they set up that episode was so good. I can't get over it. Like they're going into the Upside Down. They're going into Vecna's house. They're going in there. Like, what is the cocktail thing that they throw at him, and then Nancy
Molotov cocktail.
Yeah, the Molotov cocktail. Nancy guns the shit out of him, and he still survives. Like that was an insane fight with Vecna, and they still did not survive. Right?
That was such like a intricate like season long of like planning.
Yeah.
That was in quotes successful, right? Like but they end up like losing Eddie through all that.
Yeah.
I mean, even just think about the end of season 3 with like Hopper in quotes dying in season 3.
Yeah.
And like, it's just such a incredible drop off to end the season.
That's true. Hopper died in season 3, technically.
Technically, right. Yeah. And then there's all like the Russian stuff in season 4, like, which was just honestly crazy. It was very unique, like all of that. I just felt like season 5 was missing that.
Season 5, yeah. I would give it like a 4 out of 10, to be honest. Like the first volume was really good. Everything else, like they could have, I think it was lazy writing.
I would say season 1 and 4, like 9.5 out of 10.
Yep.
I would say season 3 is like 8.5 out of 10. And then season 2 is like a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
And season 5 was like 5 out of 10.
Yep. Makes sense. Right on par. I mean, I'm still on the episode 9 wavelength, conformity gate, if anyone still believes that. Or after seeing the documentary, I'm like, okay, it was just bad writing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get in.
There's no episode 9, bro. Sorry.
I know. I can't get over it. My fandom won't get over it.
You need to touch grass.
I know. I need to go touch grass. I'm still not over episode 9.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, in long story short, let's get into our plot holes.
Let's do it.
I want to go over plot holes that they could have covered up in this season that they just totally skipped over.
Yeah.
The Upside Down is frozen in 1983, and like they just totally forgot about that. Like, there's a huge plot hole with it gets frozen, right? In 1983 when Will gets taken. Why did he get taken? Why did he get taken on that date? They say he gets taken because he's weak. Okay.
The weak, yeah, which is kind of like what they were, I think, trying to imply in season 5.
But Barb also got taken. Like all these other people got taken too.
Like weak-minded, easy to manipulate people. Yeah, and I completely agree. That actually, now that you just said that, why the heck was Barb taken?
Why was Barb taken? Anyways, I want to go back to the Upside Down is frozen in 1983, right? November 6th. Why November 6th? Is that his birthday?
Not that I felt like they spoke about.
Maybe it's not. It might be, but
I really don't think that it was.
Oh, it's not. No, you're not.
No,
you're right.
I don't think so at all.
But
what do you mean frozen? I don't understand. I don't remember that.
So it's said in one of the seasons that the Upside Down is frozen in time at like the November 6th, 1983. Like whatever is happening in there is frozen in time. So like There was an episode where they were communicating with each other in the house by lights, right?
Yeah.
This was like season 3 or 4, I think, where Nancy
I think
and
it was
Jonathan.
4. It was 4.
One of them was down in the upside down. One was in the house in the real world, and the kids were communicating through the lights. And they were like, "Well, why don't they have this light?" And someone said it's because the upside down is frozen.
That's
in
why
that time.
Nancy was like digging through stuff, or they were all
Yes.
digging through stuff, and there was like old notes in there, and like
there was
Gotcha.
stuff that was like dated. Okay. Now there's huge hole with Joyce in season 1 when she's doing the whole like ABCD thing on the wall with the lights. Like, how does Will know? Because there's no paint on his wall upside down. Because it's stuck from the time from when he got taken, right? That's a huge plot hole. I think everyone on Reddit agrees.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, how would he know which, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because if he was in the upside down, it would have been it would have been the day that he was taken.
So there's no like,
But she put that up after he was gone.
Yeah.
And he was hitting letters.
yeah, he was hitting letter. How would he know what letters to hit? How would he
Yeah.
even know where the letters are, right?
And to kind of just like chat a little bit on that is like when season 5 opened up and they had like the AI Will.
Yeah.
Hated that, by the way. I mean, I get
They
why
gotta do what they gotta do.
I get why they did it, and it was a little bit powerful to kind of emphasize the pain that he had gone through and like kind
Right.
of the scariness that he was going through that.
Right.
Like I felt like he was hiding in his treehouse probably that whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he
'Cause
didn't go to the house. Yeah.
There was this scene in season 1 when Joyce is literally looking for him when he's gone,
Yeah.
and she checks the little hut that he's got out there.
Yeah.
And when she walks away and she's yelling his name, she goes to shut the curtain, and the curtain opens up again behind her. So obviously Will had come out. I don't know if you got Demogorgons running around there, like he ain't moving far.
No, he was probably scared. So that's a huge plot hole I think people forget about.
Just that it didn't stay frozen in time, or
Well,
what?
it was frozen in time. So how did Will do that? Anyways, because it's frozen in time, though, I do want to talk about in season 5 when Nancy and Jonathan make it all the way up to the roof and it's melting and melts. What the hell is the melting?
Yeah, what was
No explanation.
Why is it just now melting?
That's what I'm saying.
The building would be, because this has been years
Yeah.
of, I'm assuming that bulb being
Yeah.
there. What was that?
I don't know. They didn't even explain it.
Well, I felt like Dustin was trying to understand like what that thing was.
What thing?
The bulb, the orb in the sky that they like shot at.
Oh, yeah.
It
yeah.
exploded.
It was the exotic matter. Yeah, he shot at it, and it was, or Nancy shot at it, but that wasn't there when a few seasons ago. And if it's stuck in time, like, you know what I mean?
I guess I just kind of agree with you that like, what was the importance of that thing?
Yeah, like they didn't explain. I mean, like they kind of tried to explain it, but there could have been more for us science nerds. There could have been a little bit more to talk about, like the wormhole, how only part of it sucked Steve's car out and didn't really suck anything else out, how it didn't collapse. Like there's just so many holes there. Anyways, okay, I want to talk about a huge one in season 5. The hive mind suddenly stops becoming a hive mind, right? So the whole premise of the show is like all the Demodogs and Vecna and the Mind Flayer, they're all connected, right? When you hurt one hurts. Hurt the other hurts.
Right.
Kill one, it weakens you. When they are at the final fight scene and they're killing Vecna, nothing happens to Will, which I think is crazy because I think in previous seasons he was getting he was like whenever Vecna would get hurt.
In 4, when they were shooting at Vecna, it didn't even Max have a freak out?
Yes.
Because she was possessed?
Yes.
Because she's in pain now all of a sudden?
Yeah.
She wasn't awake, but
demo dogs are having issues when
Yeah.
Vecna's getting hurt. There was no sort of there's a connection there, right? I mean, obviously Will is channeling his energy through Vecna, which whatever, but that aside, he has some sort of connection to the upside down and to the mind flayer and stuff.
I wonder if maybe how he's Vecna floats up in that mind flare,
Yeah.
in that brain heart thing.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's only hive mind technically when he's hooked up to that. Because when L is fighting him in there, he's not hooked up to that anymore. So maybe the pain wasn't spreading around everywhere, but I don't know about that because I felt like maybe I'd have to go rewatch it, but I felt like they were like shooting and wrecking the mind flare.
Yeah.
And Vecna wasn't hooked up to that, and he was like,
Yeah.
he was struggling.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, there's just some missing pieces there. Like when you kill one, all of them react. And so, I don't know. Actually, I wanted to talk about a plot hole that I want to talk about is like, you know how Erica and the teacher are like up in the whatever in the church tower or something, and they're doing the
military shows up.
They show up, and then nothing else is shown for them. You never see them again.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a plot hole. What happened to them? They just never followed up on that storyline.
No, they didn't. They forgot about that. Literally, the military, because they were doing what they wanted to do up in that tower, military shows up, storms the building, and then it cuts.
No, yeah, I agree. I don't know. That's a huge plot hole. Okay, so where I was trying to go with the last plot hole is why is Will connected to Vecna all of a sudden in season 5 when he was always only connected to the mind flare? Is it because Vecna is hooked up? Like, why does he suddenly have powers? Why is he's only connected to Vecna?
It did seem like only in season 5, because that's when he started seeing like through the demidogs.
Yeah.
And seeing through Vecna's eyes. That was kind of an interesting twist. But I think because of that, he started to have powers in general. But I don't think that it was really explained like that well as to why, like, all of a sudden. Well, I mean, he's the sorcerer.
Yeah.
But I don't really know. I don't think that they dove quite into it. It was awesome. Like, I was stoked that he's got powers all of a sudden.
Right.
But they didn't really dive a ton into like why, I guess. But there's a lot of kind of semi unexplainable stuff, I guess, like in that, you know,
it was just
in the whole show like that. So
it was just interesting to me. And I just was like, the mind flayer was such a huge part of like season 1 through 4. And obviously Vecna gets introduced in season 4, but he's only always had a connection to the mind flayer. And the only thing I can say about his connection to Vecna in season 5 is maybe because Vecna's hooked up, but
he was always hooked up.
But he was always hooked up. So,
yeah.
You know, I don't know.
One thing I found kind of strange was anytime that he had kidnapped anybody, Vecna always had them in the the upside down.
Yeah.
Right. And then all of a sudden in season 5, he's taking them all the way up and hooking them up there.
I think it's because he has been caught so many times in the upside down.
That's it?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
He just took them somewhere else?
Well, I think that mind
like,
flayer's living up there. So he takes them to the mind flayer's lair.
Why didn't he take Will up there in the original? Like, why didn't he take him up there originally?
Yeah. There's so many questions, right?
I'm like, why did he not take him up there already? I mean, like, remember all the scenes of Will being in the upside down?
Yeah.
And he's in that very dark place, or in Vecna's house, in Henry's house.
Yeah.
And he's got like the tube in his mouth.
Yeah.
You know, with him unconscious, and he never takes him up top to Dimension X.
Yep.
Nobody ever gets taken there until
literally this last second, yeah.
If not volume, you know.
Which is where 11 had sent, what's his name?
Henry.
Vecna. Yeah.
Henry?
She sent Henry to Dimension X when she, you know, freaked out in the underground lab.
Mm-hmm.
And then that when she was searching for Papa, she was searching, and that's where that created that upside down. That's what created the upside down. So technically all the monsters came from Dimension X. So why were there no monsters when they all got there? Like, I think that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Okay, I want to talk about Max.
Okay.
Max has a lot of plot holes, okay?
Yep.
So at the end of season 4, you see that Max gets lifted up, you know, she goes blind, she can't be found by 11, all these things. She's basically dead, right? She's living in Vecna's mind somehow. There's so many issues because her mind is technically gone. She has no mind because 11 can't get into her mind, right?
Right.
She keeps trying, can't get it. The doctors can't explain it. She can't explain it. she wakes up and she's just fine. Like, you know what I mean? She was like dead, basically.
Right.
So I think that was pretty crazy. There was like no consequences. Obviously, she was in a wheelchair, but you see at the end of the episode, she's skateboarding around. She graduates school. She missed 2 years of high school.
That was the funniest thing.
Somehow graduates on time.
How did she graduate on time with the rest
You know
of the
what
kids?
I mean? Like, just so crazy to me. I think that her storyline was very interesting.
Yeah, I don't think that like some of the silly things that people are saying about her story, I mean, are kind of irrelevant. I don't think that there's any like need to like look too deep into that. It's just like a show at that point, you know.
Like,
but
why is she not disabled?
right, right. But yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like a lot of it. I mean, you got to understand too, like a lot of the show in general is unbelievable. You know what I mean? So there's parts that you're gonna see here and there that just don't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still think that there was plenty that were just unneeded.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't really do the story any justice. So that was more so my biggest kind of issue with a lot of things is I felt like there was plenty stuff that they introduced in season 5 that just didn't have a lot of substance.
It was not developed enough. Like Dimension X, not developed enough. Like the mind flares back, which, okay, that's fantastic, but you kill it in 5 minutes after being introduced. Pretty crazy because it was so hard to kill it for 4 seasons. Her sister coming back, nothing against the actress. I'm just like, what happened with the pregnant lady? Another plot hole. What happened to all the pregnant ladies?
Pregnant lady? What do you?
Remember her sister's like, I walked in, I saw all these pregnant ladies being made with all my blood, like blah, 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 blah.
Oh, Elle's sister.
Yeah, Elle's
sister. Oh, I thought you were talking about Holly.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. Collie. So
Yeah.
she walks in and she sees all these pregnant ladies that are like they're trying to have babies that have superpowers. And then the minute that this whole episode is done with, you know, like 11, the military's suddenly gone. The military suddenly like has no interest in this experiment or these dimensions or the upside down. And it's like, okay, well, you have all these women.
I don't think that they could have shown.
Oh, wait, I guess the women all died because they closed the portal. They closed the gate. 11 closed the gate, or Collie closed the gate.
I guess you just kind of assume
They
the
blew it
military move out, right?
Well, they blew it up. Everyone died in the upside down.
Oh, yeah.
They blew it up. I totally forgot. Okay, that
So then
answers
the
that.
military's dead then.
Yeah, well, whoever's in the upside down from the military, they're all dead because remember, they blew it up.
Yeah.
To Prince.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
To, what song? Not 1999. Was it Raspberry Beret?
I don't know. I don't remember.
God, it was not When Doves Cry. It was a different one. Oh, Purple Rain. Duh. It was Purple Rain.
Yeah.
Fantastic song. Prince lover. Love him. Love that guy. Slay. Major slay on this soundtrack.
Yep. But I think also, I mean, if they would have had, well, no, you can't know because like the end of the season was where 11, like everybody came out of the portal, right?
Yeah.
When it was destroying itself.
Yeah.
All the military was out there ready and put everybody, you know, hands up and arrested everybody or whatever. So, yeah, I don't think there was anything crazy with that. But.
Okay, last I want to talk about Steve's character arc.
Okay.
That's a really big topic is Steve's character arc.
I don't understand why he's coaching baseball.
Yeah, well, so
Wasn't he like a basketball player?
He has this huge, beautiful character arc in this whole show, right? Like Joe Keery did such a good job playing Steve. Everyone loved him so much they decided to not kill him off because he was actually supposed to get killed off in season 1 or 2, right? He had.
Oh, you think so?
No, like the writers said, like he was actually supposed to get killed off in the early seasons, and people loved him so much that they kept him.
Oh, 100%.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So he, you know, he's just such good vibes, right? He had this relationship with Nancy from the beginning. He's always been obsessed with Nancy. They obviously become friends. Nancy and Jonathan are together. They end up becoming friends again. Like they have this weird moment in season 4 where she seems like she might be kind of back into Steve, and then they just don't address it in season 5. They kind of do in the sense of like the guys are, you know, competing for her attention.
Right.
But at the end of all of this, after being the babysitter for all of these kids for so many years and, you know, hanging out with all these people, a beautiful storyline for Joe Keery or for Steve Harrington. Out of all of this, he ends up coaching baseball and he's alone and he doesn't even get with Nancy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, to have Nancy not be with either of them.
Either of them, I was like, ugh, give me a break.
I hated that.
Yeah.
that was silly.
That was silly.
That was a weird turn that they just decided to make. And that's kind of what I'm saying is like there's so many things that they chose to do that I'm like, what was the significance of
No,
that?
literally.
How did that make the show better?
Yeah.
Like it just didn't. And like
it would have been such a good ending if like, you know, maybe Jonathan died or something and they had
or if
gotten
they just
together.
got married like he wanted to. He had Jonathan was carrying
that scene. I love that scene. They did a good scene with the unproposal or whatever with Jonathan and Nancy.
I thought that the actor and actress did a great job, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just like, I would have them getting together before they felt like they were gonna die.
Yeah.
Would have been a way more feel good happy ending. Not we're good. And I'm like, what the hell just
I kind
happened?
of loved it. It was different because usually it's always, oh, we got to get together before we die. But like now it's like, you know, we're speaking our truth because we're going to die and we don't want to lie. You know, this is how we truly feel about each other. But like, you know, because they had broken up, I had thought that Nancy was going to go to Steve eventually. Maybe not immediately, but like, you know, especially with her moving back to Hawkins to work for the Post. I just had thought that was like something they were going with. Everyone on Reddit had said she was maybe a lesbian now.
I think that was what they implied.
I think they implied that she was a lesbian now, which I was like, okay.
Well, Robin asked her, how are the babes at whatever?
Yeah.
Whatever school she was going to.
So I was like,
And
okay.
she's like, wouldn't know. I quit.
I quit. I don't go to that school anymore, which whatever.
Right.
I just, interesting vibes with Nancy and Steve. Steve had such a beautiful arc. At the end of the day, he still didn't find anyone, which was really upsetting to the audience because he had such a like maturity arc, right? Like he's super immature in season 1. Season 2, he grew.
Yeah, but don't think too much on that because he did find somebody. He was talking about a girl at the end, and he said
like,
she might be the one, but none of us know who that is.
No,
So-
and everyone was really rooting for Steve and Robin. Obviously, that didn't work out, and it was kind of nice that it didn't work out because it's kind of cool to have like a male and female be best friends. You know,
For Steve and Robin to get together?
yeah, they were supposed to get together in season 3.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, they were working together. He kind of had a fat crush on Robin, and then she eventually told him, like, hey, I'm gay. Like, I'm not into you, but I'm really good friends with you. And he was like, wow, like, that totally makes sense, blah, 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 blah.
I guess I didn't remember that he even had a crush on her. I thought they were
No.
just friends the whole time.
No, he had a crush on her when they were working together at the ice
the
cream
ice cream,
shop.
yeah.
And then, Anyways, I was a little bit disappointed in Steve's arc.
Yeah.
Just because if you're not going to kill him off, at least give him a good ending, you know?
Sure. I mean, I thought that some of the stuff in the epilogue was fine. I mean, I thought that they wrapped up some of that stuff in like a cute, awesome way, but I just wanted to see more fighting in the terms of like you literally are finally making it to the final boss in this like underworld that's been causing you pain for like 6 years.
Yeah.
And it just didn't happen.
But it was also another thing I want to talk about. Sorry, I like can't stop with these. Another plot hole is Kali. Like she has so many powers and she chooses to just not use it, in Dimension X. Like she
was
uses.
dead. What do you
Oh
mean?
yeah, she was dead. Duh. Sorry, cut that out.
She wasn't dead, but she was not.
Well, that's another plot hole. How was she alive enough to?
She stayed alive with a bullet wound the whole time.
That was like 15 minutes. She was like staying alive.
It was long.
It was a long time.
Because they made
'Cause she
their
had
way
to
all the
jump-
way up, and then they fought the thing. And
No, literally that happened. And 11 literally goes, okay, I'm going to jump to Dimension X. She goes, boop, 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 jumps on the rocks,
yeah,
goes up,
Yeah.
kills the mind flayer, comes back down.
yeah,
I mean, that's like fucking 30 minutes at least.
yeah, 100%. I would think so, but I didn't find Kali's character honestly like I didn't find that substantial either. I didn't think any of that was. Everybody has talked about how that weird side quest by 11 to go find those people was like odd,
Well, and I guess like that's why they had it. It was to bring her back for season 5. I just don't think they brought her back in the right way. They could have brought her back as someone to help like in the fight scene. I think it would have been sick to have her in the fight scene.
I thought she was going to have her to help
win, yeah.
to win. And on top of that, Will had just gotten powers as well. And he didn't really help. He was just looking through his eyes,
And he was just talking to Vecna.
talking to Henry,
Yeah.
trying to get him to stop. And that was it. But I'm like, dude, like all three of you guys using your powers, like that would have been sick.
No, so
That
crazy.
would have made way more sense. And honestly, if like 11 would have stepped aside and let Will just like use the force and like slam him on the spike or something. Like, I don't know. I'm not a writer in Hollywood, and I feel like I could have came up with like 60 different better endings
So many endings.
than what we got, you know? So,
okay, one last one I have.
yeah, what you got?
Okay, the last one I have, plot hole, is, you know, when you're in Max's vision, you see that you're like in Henry Creel's mind. You're going through high school. You see Joyce, you see Hopper, you see Steve Harrington's dad.
Yeah.
We just glaze over that completely. We glaze over it. We don't hear anything about it. We don't talk about it. That is apparently in the play.
I'm really glad that you brought that up because I was trying to think of some of the plot holes that I had thought of earlier. I was just kind of forgetting, but I still don't understand 100%. So like, I get that like Henry was from Hawkins, right?
Yeah.
Like he was there, but why Will, other than him just being like weak-minded, I guess? Because Barb, I don't know where the Barb thing came in. That didn't correlate those two things really at all. All the different kids that he chose were all weak-minded, but is it just because they're kids or because those kids are like special? I never knew why it was the kids that it was. And on top of that, what was the significance of him being at school with Joyce and Hopper and all those people? Did they do something to him in high school that made him not like them? And that's why he went after Will first. Like they never... That seemed when that message was said to the audience that holy shit, Henry was in high school with
like
these.
They knew him.
They knew him.
Yeah.
They never followed up on like finding out. Like, could you imagine if like Joyce and Hopper were like, holy shit, it was the weird kid, you know, or like they would have known who it was. Like they never said that. They never
acknowledged it.
No, they never followed up on that at all. And it's like, I get that, like, okay, I guess he tormented Hawkins because that's where he's from. So I guess I can live with that. But I'm like, they had to have done something to him.
Maybe that's why he chose Will, because maybe Joyce was mean to him, you know?
I guess.
Who knows?
But that still would have been a more well-rounded story.
Yeah.
Or at least something. Like, give me something.
Yeah,
you know?
like I just thought that was crazy that they just sprinkled in.
Show Hopper shoving him in a locker or something. Like
they just sprinkled in that Hopper and Joyce were there in his memory.
Who else, though? There was
Steve Harrington's dad.
Steve Harrington's dad. So, like, give me something.
Something, yeah.
Yeah,
but
tried out for the football team and didn't make it. I don't know. Like anything.
Anything, right? I think it was crazy too because when he goes in the cave, he has this rock and it consumes him, and that's what happens. And people kind of are like, well, what the fuck was that? And what happened with that? This is the problem I had with this whole thing, is there were so much more that happened in that play, the Stranger Things play. That play had a lot of Easter eggs for this. And they were like, you got to go see the play. Okay, well, it's literally in New York and Broadway. That's not fair to people who watch the show.
Sure.
So that was another problem I had, is like, you can't have a play that has Easter eggs and then not address it in their TV show. Like the primary TV show, you don't even talk about it. And those things are related. You know what I mean? It's not like they're two separate stories. Like the play is literally about Henry Creel. It's the whole backstory behind Vecna.
Dude, what?
So, yeah, that's what the
Never
problem.
even heard of this.
Yeah, there's literally a play on Broadway called Stranger Things: The First Shadow, and the First Shadow highlights the whole thing about Vecna, his whole entire childhood, where he got the powers, working with Papa, moving to Hawkins, having a high school experience in Hawkins, being a lab rat, turning into Vecna. Like he had a girlfriend in high school too, and like you don't even like. I think her name was like Patty Newberry or something, just from me doing internet deep diving.
Yeah,
she was a huge part in like him not totally like being evil.
Dude, what?
And they don't even address any of this in the show. So that's another huge problem I have.
That's wild. Huh.
Anyways.
Well, I'm sure I'll come up with more plot holes later, and I'm sure you will as well. But that's, I think...
I have so much more, but we're at an hour.
rambled enough for most of them.
Yeah. So. If you want more, let me know. I'll DM you.
For real. So.
But yeah, that's all we got today. Our Hollywood Rage Bait Stranger Things edition. As always, please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the things at the Yap Lab. We are taking all questions and answers from you on all of your hot takes. Until next time.
Thanks,
you. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.